Hello everyone, I am 100% me and I'd very much like to welcome you back into my world where, wait a second, this house wasn't here before. That's so weird. What's going on? A time-lapse is what's going on. Look, you can see me on the screen. I'm really busy building buildings. You see, I figured it was really kind of important to just get some buildings in place, just to get a feel for what it's going to look like and what it's going to feel like. Get some general sense for what this area is going to be. You know, how the people live and what they do on their day-to-day basis when sometimes it's raining. If you remember a couple of episodes ago, we established that these people are relatively small, and so these houses were going to be relatively small. That they do have kind of big roofs. I don't really know why. It kind of gave me sort of a mushroom sort of vibe. I kind of like it. Speaking of what they do in their day-to-day lives, it is kind of important to figure that out. Because what they do in their day-to-day lives, right, the way they move about the village is going to directly affect the way that the village looks. And perhaps maybe towards the end of the episode we will get to do just a little of that. But first we've got to do something really very important. You see, I do not believe the village has a name yet, which means it's time for a naming ceremony. Gorf! And I sort of figured this is the perfect opportunity to give you a little tour of the place. Now let's start at an area that everybody knows. This here is the ideas board that we made last episode. This over here is the house with the tower that we built 2 episodes ago, I think. Now you may notice that there is now a path here. We'll go into the path a bit later. First, let's have a look at these houses over here. Now they're just the exterior, there's nothing on the inside of them yet. But I figured I'd put them because they give us a really good idea of the vibe of this place, right? As you can see, they're really dark and somewhat grungy, I would say. And that's kind of the idea, that they're somewhat gross looking, alright? These people are here for functionality. They only care about function, not necessarily about their looks. If it works, and then it's good enough. Now something that I tried to do with these is round them off a little bit, get them as round as possible within Minecraft. I thought that kind of looked really cool. As you can see, this one is a little bit stretched out. This one is more, well, a little bit more like a circle, I guess. It's even on every single side. This one is more like that one, and for this one I tried to do something I haven't really done before, which is to build on a diagonal. And that was quite a challenge. I'm not sure if that came across in the time-lapse, but I really struggled with that one a little bit. But it was really fun. I do like a good challenge. And then for these paths, as you can see, this is just gross. This is dirty and filthy. They don't really care about their paths. Their paths get them places and that's it. As you can see, I also put nether wart from time to time. Oh, whoops. Well, there you go, extra nether wart. And these nether warts, they kind of add to it. It's like something is growing on here. Gross stuff is growing on their paths. As you can see, it's always just a little bit to the side. Because of course, when you're walking around, things get trampled and then they don't really grow. So on the sides here, there's just nether warts growing everywhere. It's kind of the idea. And then I put the slabs here, but I haven't finished the path, as you can see. And that's pretty much how far I got in between episodes. And we'll come back here later on in the episode to work some more on this area. But for now, we've got a couple of things to check off our list. First of those items being, let's check on our makeshift iron golem farm that we made last episode. Now already, as you can see, there are quite a lot of iron golems out, which is making me think that maybe not a whole lot would have fallen down here. But we can check anyway. Oh no! Looks like our little farm had another victim. That's not good. Oh, that's not what I wanted, but and well, like I said, this isn't going to be a lot. As I said when I built it, this was never going to be the most efficient thing. Just a little trickle of iron, but that's all we need really. This is the sort of project that you just completely forget about, and then one day you go check on it and it's just completely filled with iron. So let's hope for that, shall we? Oh, what's this? You're answering from the wrong way, sir. The entrance is over there. Now I didn't show this off in the first episode, but well, essentially I needed a lot of mud for the house that we built, right? And to help me with gathering mud, I built this contraption over here. It's really ugly, but it really does work. See, if I put a block of dirt over here and you look over there, it turns dirt into mud. Look at that. Now this contraption is a little bit slow and dirty and rough around the edges. I just messed around with it a little bit and it works. Now the way that this works is you put glass bottles into here, empty bottles, right? And through this hopper, they get into this dispenser over here. Now the dispenser will fill it up with water. Put it into this dispenser over here, and this one, whoops, I fell in a hole. And this one will turn the dirt block into mud. And all of this junk behind here is just timing circuits. This is in no way the most efficient way to go about doing this, but for a quick and dirty setup, it really worked and it really helped me out a lot. Now, if you want a contraption like this for yourself in your own world, I highly recommend you do not use this design. I'm sure someone in the community has made a more optimized version of it. So I recommend just searching for Minecraft mud dirt converter, something along those lines. You'll figure it out. And of course I completely forgot to tell you that the reason I'm here making mud is because I figured it may look good in that path. There is something going terribly wrong. Yeah, this thing is terribly sensitive to timing. And the last thing on our list, you can sort of see it already, is this geode over here. Look at that, this is absolutely an amazing find. And even more amazing is that this is right underneath the house. And even more amazing is, if you'll follow me over here, there is, as you can see, another one. Look at that, that is awesome to have two of them so close to the house. There will be so many amethyst shards growing here. And so what I figured I'd do for the next portion of this episode is turn this into something farmable. And so for now I'm just going to harvest this and go and get rid of these blocks, all while hoping and being very careful not to destroy any of these blocks, because of course once you break these you can't really get them back. And they are of course the ones that we need to grow the amethysts on. Now you may be wondering what I need the amethyst for. And that is mostly for tinted glass. But I was also thinking that this purple kind of contrasts really nicely with the green of the grass in the swamp. And so maybe we'll be using it as a building material as well. And yes, I just got scared. I accidentally mined one of the budding amethyst blocks. That's one of them dug out. Now let's move on to the next one over here. Luckily I managed to break only like 20 of these in the other geode. Hopefully I'm doing just a little bit better in this one. This one only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 budding amethysts. I'm not quite sure if it's worth the trouble of making this into a proper farm. Well, let's dig it out anyway and see if we get anywhere with it. I don't know. There you go, I dug it out. So here's the plan, right? To farm these crystals, we're going to flood this whole thing in water. And then we can just swim around in it and harvest these crystals. Now that of course is nothing new, people have done that before. But then of course we need to make it all look somewhat pretty. And what I'm thinking is I'll just replace the walls and the ceiling and the floor with deep slate tiles. Because I think that would look really cool. And then you have these openings over there. That one is kind of hard to spot from here, but you can sort of see it. And there's one over there as well. And then there's of course this really big gaping one that I'm standing in right now. And what I'm thinking is I'll fill them up with tinted glass. I think it'll be really cool because when I'm in here, I can just look out. And you know, it's kind of sort of honoring the natural generation of the terrain over here in some places. I think that'll be really cool. One problem, of course, with that idea is that if I want tinted glass, I need, well, glass, and for that I'll need sand. And the big problem with needing sand is, well, there's quite a lot of it here, but I don't like to take it from here. Because if I take it from here, that's just going to leave really ugly patches in the floor, right? Now, typically what I'll do is just find a desert way out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, oops, my horse is sinking. And so then I make sure that the desert is in an area where I'm not usually at, so that I don't notice the ugly area that I'm leaving behind. Now this desert then becomes my designated mining desert. And here too goes, that's nothing new, people have done that before. The problem however with my world is that I haven't found a single desert anywhere. At this point I am convinced that they simply do not exist in my world. So what I'm trying to do instead, and if I've done it right you don't see it, what I'm doing is I'm taking it from this area over here. I believe it's right over there. Now what I've been trying to do is honor the line of sight from out in the ocean so that I can't see it. But if I get up here, you can see there is a lot of sand over here that's missing. And then of course a bit higher over here too. Now the idea is I'm not in this area at all really, so from here I'm not going to notice. However, if I happen to pass by over the sea, I won't see it. I won't notice that this is here, that there's just a lot of sand missing here. And so I figure that's my compromise. I can't find a desert, this is how I fix it. Presenting tinted glass. Oh wow, that didn't give me nearly as much as I thought it would. See, I was under the impression that the recipe was a bit like this, like colored glass. But I guess that's not the case. There, look, this is roughly what it will look like in the end. Only now I need to flood it. I've also realized I didn't really make a proper way in and out of this thing. I'll probably add a door over there somewhere, I think. Oh, woo! This is the gross water! Ta-da! That's one of them complete. And now I've got 2 aquariums to swim around in. And in the time that it took me to build all this, the crystals have grown. Which means that if I just quickly go for a breath of air, I can harvest all of this. Of course, always being careful not to break the budding amethyst blocks. I can also get some of these silk touched. And then you get these crystals, which is really cool. Now ideally for this you'd have like a conduit, right? But I unfortunately do not have a conduit yet. And so I'm just going to have to, well, try and get some air every once in a while. Or not. Yeah, there we go. And go back in. There we go. That's quite a bit, isn't it? I didn't harvest it all. I couldn't really be bothered. So I went ahead and repaired my pickaxe at the skeleton grinder all the way down there. And in doing so, I got to level 30. Which means we can do another level 30 enchant. There we go. Let's take that off. And stuff it in here and see what we get. Oh! That is a really good pickaxe! It's such a shame that that's fortune though. I already have that. Oh, but that is a really good pickaxe. We'll keep it for something else. What I also figure I do is I put mending on this shovel over here. There. This is the part of the episode where we go back to the village of Gorf and figure out just exactly how they move about the village and what these people do in their day-to-day lives. Allow me to give you a bit of a refresher on the story in this village so far. Right over there and expanding all the way underneath this swamp is a really vast network of waterlogged caves. However, at some point they came up to the surface and they evolved to be amphibious and they started a civilization over here. And that is what Gorf is. Now, of course, they need a religion, and that is what this outline is for. This is going to be a church. This is what they go to worship whatever they believe in. And it is up to us now to figure out just exactly what it is they believe in. Now what I'm thinking, that civilization that lived over there underneath the swamp in the water caves, well, what if they believed in a water god of some kind? However, they feel like that water god has let them down. And that's why they moved up to the land, and now they worship a god of the land. And that is what this building is for. It's in honor of the land god. And I figure now is as good a time as any to build this structure. Yeah, okay, I'll be the first to admit that I'm not really good at doing statues. What I was thinking here, right, they worship their earth god, so I figured I'd put a statue here, and well, this is how it turned out. I sort of figured it makes sense. It's made of deep slate, which of course is found way down below in the earth, right? And so they would have made a statue out of that material. Now for the rest of it, you may notice that I really leaned into the earth theme. There is a lot of black stone here, which I suppose technically is found in the nether, but it works. And there's a lot of wood. They're all very earthy materials, right? So I kind of really leaned into that. I thought it was really cool. And so this is their little church. Now you may notice that there are really big gaping holes over here. They're supposed to be windows. I thought it would be really cool to do stained glass. The problem is with earth, I want to also use a lot of green. But as you may already know, I cannot find cactus because I can't find a desert. And so I cannot make green windows. And so the windows here, they are on my to-do list. I thought it would be really cool. I also have one over there. Really high up. Maybe we can do... I can probably do that one. Have blue glass in there with like a sun or something. No, that would be airy, not very earthy. So I'll have to think on that one. So for now, this is just on my to-do list still. I'm just going to finish that later on. Oh no, I've just noticed that it's not symmetrical. I have to fix it. There, much better. You may notice from the front it looks just a little bit like a barn. I'm not really sure what to do about it. Maybe I can just embrace it. It sort of fits in with the whole earthy theme from this church. One way I can fix it is by adding a tower or something on the top here. Maybe this extended part at the front just extends up a little bit more. Let me try that real quick. There! That gets rid of it feeling like a barn. This does actually feel like a church now. I like it. Just going to pat myself on the back for that one. That's not really possible in Minecraft, but still. Let's go have a look at it from a distance. Here, you see what I mean? Look, right now it still stands out a little bit. It's the only building there, but once this building is in place and we have something more over there going on and this over here, it's really going to start feeling like it fits in. I really think it already fits in really well. I really like this church. I really do. But for now, with all that being said, done and built, and the sun setting apparently, it's time to finish the episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Doom to doom. Let's clean up all of this stuff real quick. Let's hop on our horsey. Let's get home. Oh, it's getting dark too. There it is. Home sweet home. Let's take off my armor and let's just go to bed. There we go. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo. Do-do-do-do-do. Hello everyone, I'm 100% me, and I'd very much like to welcome you back into my world, which appears to be looking really strange. What's going on? Why is Why is everything looking so weird? Why is everything white and green? What's going on?